Hello guys, welcome to our channel. All right, we want to look at the clash that is currently going on between the presidency and some APC senator. And this time around, it has moved from, before now, it was Femi Gbajabiamila who brought up the issue of lack of accountability and transparency in the relief committee activities during this COVID-19. They had talked about the issue of transparency, that it has not been transparent enough. The woman who is in charge, the humanitarian affairs minister, Sadiya Farouk, had also opened up, and she had said a lot of things, though she has not been impressive, because what the senators are saying is also what Nigerians are saying. But right away, one of the senior renowned APC senator, who is actually a serving senator, currently a serving senator in the ninth Senate, he had opened up, to say a lot of things, expressing so much disappointment in the way things are being done by this relief committee. And I'm going to read some of the things that he has said. And because of those things that he has said, the presidency has decided to respond. Now, one beautiful thing about this whole issue is that's this COVID-19 relief material or palliative distribution is the fact that nobody is interested whether the minister that is currently behind this thing is from APC or is from APC government. The APC guys are even the one who are coming out and expressing their disappointment clearly. It first started with even this guy, Lawan, also had spoken about the same thing. One federal lawmaker in the southeast, Benjamin Kalu, has also spoken. He was invited to channel, and the way he was blasting the former person who was there, Mariam Uwais, was it clearly showed that right now there's nothing like this is the party. What we want to see is you giving monies to our own people, because we have not heard anyone whom you claim that they are in your own register coming out to prove that they have received money and all of that. And because of a lot of allegations, and all of that, the senators are ready to fight. But this time around, it's Ndume. Ndume's turn has been so, a lot of people have supported him because he is actually saying the mind of the people. But the president also had blasted him, has shown his anger towards the way he's doing things and all of that. But first of all, so that you can really understand why the president reacted the way he reacted, and also look at what Ndume say, if it is actually the right thing he did, or if he deserves the blast or the knock from the president, as the case may be. All right, I'm going to read some of the words he said, and from there, we now look at what the president said. He said here, according to him, he said, "My concern now is the manner and ways the palliative measures taken by the president are being executed. We have received numerous complaints, and it's very unfortunate. Left to me, I am calling for the so-called humanitarian committee, headed by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, to be disbanded immediately, and the president should set up a task force to handle issues of palliative." He now started talking about the composition of the proposed, what he thinks should, the people who are supposed to be in the task force, which he is proposing. He said the task force should be made up of the state governor, the state governor should be the chairman, and it should also include the senator, House of Assembly, members from each state, the army, police, civil defense, religious organization, Red Cross, civil society organization, to ensure the distribution of the palliative. I don't mind if the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and members of the Social Investment Program are members. Now, he opened up why he's getting angry. And I tell you the truth, for me, from my own perspective, it's justifiable enough. He is justified in this, the way he's going about it, because personally, I think that what we saw as the poorest of the poor, that's the list of the poorest of the poor from the state, clearly shows that the woman is actually, that's the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, is actually working for her own people. Now, which of them had the highest in terms of highest household or highest individual? It was actually Zamfara State. And it would amaze you to know that Zamfara State is actually the home of, or the state of origin of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. All right, let me read exactly what Ndume said. Ndume said, imagine Zamfara State, which happened to be the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs home state, has 291,629 households and 1,341,153 individuals captured under the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households for March 2020, leaving Sokoto State, which is abjured as the poorest state in Nigeria, with a paltry 3,347 households and 18,435 individuals. Borno has only 7,130 households and 33,728 individuals. Now you can see it there for yourself. You can see it when we are talking about the poorest state in Nigeria. It has always been Sokoto State, because they seem not to have anything. And when we talk about a state that is really plagued by terrorism, is the epicenter of terrorism in Nigeria, is actually Borno State. And we believe that most people who are there have been stripped of their own handwork, because most of them are involved in agriculture. But imagine the number of people we are seeing for them, while in Zamfara State, which is the state of origin of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, it is in million. No other state was up to a million except Zamfara State. And that is why this guy is saying that, that's Ali Ndume, the senator, is saying that he is absolutely not happy with the process of, or the criteria that they adopted, that it's a clear fraud, that actually whatever that was done was a clear fraud. Now, he's going to give you more reason as we read down. He said here, I have reliable information that even names they have generated is fake. The BVN is not fraud proof. One person will generate thousands of names, and after conniving with the bank, they are issued BVN. Investigation will reveal all of this. My God. He went further to say they have the names of their cooks, drivers, relative of their housemates, and those they call the poorest of the poor, and give these monies to them. I call on the press to join in the call to stop this callous act. You can imagine the situation our people are in at the moment, yet some people are rushing to either share or steal this money. It's really painful, making merchandise of the suffering period of Nigerians, suffering period of the masses in Nigeria. It's really heartbreaking. But guess what? Most people still believe that, hey, since he is of APC origin, he's a card-carrying member in APC, he shouldn't be talking like that. If he must talk, there must be evidence. If people are castigating a particular group, it's not just him alone. It's not Ali Ndume alone that is talking. We've heard from different quarters. Nigerians are crying out. Like he did say in another when he also was talking, he made mention of that I was expecting the president to disband the committee, when he did his second broadcast on this COVID-19 situation issue. But he did not. While they have failed, Nigerians have clearly said that they have failed in their responsibility. They cannot clearly tell Nigerians exactly the criteria that they are using to, pick up these poorest of the poor in our community. They cannot tell how they came by those names. This one will be saying something different. Another person will be saying something different. For example, when this woman went to Channel Television to talk about the issue of how they came by the list, the register of the social investment program, how they came by the list of the poor, she made mention that they sent out persons into enumerators into the communities, and they meet with this household, get to do verification. But when the Minister of Communication was saying his own, I think Dr. Ali, that's his name, Dr. Ali Ibrahim, when he was saying his own, communicating with an international NGO, his own case was different. He said, actually, we are using the register of Nigerians who register, in the NCC, that's National Communication Commission. That's what they were using. And they look at those who are loading they call it data mining, that based on how much data you are using, they can now tell this person is poor, this person is not poor, and all of that. And it doesn't synchronize with what Mariam Wise was saying. So how can Nigerians believe you? So truly, what Ndume was saying was actually true. But then the president has decided to also open up, and they decided to tell Ndume to either shut up or be so specific enough to tell who is really involved in this fraud. And Nigerians came for Shehu Gaba, who was the publisher of that write-up. According to the heading of his write-up, he said, Senator Ali Ndume should figure out his mentioned kleptocrat around the president or be quiet. And I'm going to read exactly what he wrote, and it's on his Facebook page. He said, when he was first elected president in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari said that he belongs to everyone and belongs to no one. What was true then remains true today. He believes in public service as a servant of the people, and he expects the exact same commitment from members of his government and, of course, his closest aides. The president has made it clear time without number that anyone who will not, cannot, or does not pull his weight nor meet this exacting standard is not welcome in his administration. A number of ranking officers have been shown the way out at various times simply on account of this, though he didn't mention the officers that he was talking about. And he went further to say again, he said, similarly, we believe in loyalty and truthfulness. Should any individual be found to be serving themselves and not the public, then it is right and proper to call them out, but this must be done on the basis of evidence and proof, not on conjecture. It is therefore disappointing to hear a politician call out unnamed individuals in the administration and accuse them of unnamed transgression. If this politician has evidence, then he should make public their identities as well as his proof, even when though is not proof. Similarly, simply claiming the COVID-19 palliative measure committee is not functioning as it should is not the same as presenting proofs for such a claim. No one replaces an institutionalized government body in the midst of global pandemic without clear and irrefutable evidence that it needs replacing. A press briefing from a discontented politician is really the source of such evidence. At this difficult time of the battle by Nigerians against coronavirus, everyone should help the fight and not seek to make public capital out of it, whatever his or her grievances. But actually, those were the words of Garba Shehu, who is the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity. And but guess what? For me, this is absolutely not reasonable at all. Because first of all, before you start talking, you must look at what is the public outcry and what is this man saying. If the public outcry rhymes with what the senator is saying, I think that the president should navigate towards that region. Why? Because he is there as a public servant. He is there saving the people. So what matters is what the people are currently going through and not what the appointees of his government are doing. If the people are crying and somebody comes up and says, this is the reason why the people are crying, I see it's actually right. I think the president should do something about it. And one of those things I was expecting him to do, just like Ndume had rightly said, is to make sure that another person comes in to take charge of this relief committee, especially this season where there are lockdowns everywhere. If you look at a lot of videos that we have published thus far, it clearly shows that the people are not happy at all. You can attest to the fact that we've seen cases of people scrambling for food just because the kind of system we run in Nigeria is quite a different one. We work on daily basis and we make money on daily basis. So for you to shut down a particular state for as long as 1 month, you must be ready to give them palliative, and in anyhow you can do it, make sure that it's reasonable enough. But you know, the most amazing aspect of this thing is that the Lagos State is not even the area of concentration. They are not even looking at Lagos State, Abuja, and Ogun State. Concentration is even at the north, where there is no lockdown at all. That's the surprising aspect of it. So the president blasting this guy, for many people, it makes no sense. And guess what? Even for me, it makes no sense. This government has failed a great deal. I'm going to read some of the reactions of Nigerians, few of them, and so that you make you judge what the president has said alongside what Ndume has said, and then reach a consensus or reach a conclusion. All right, this person here says the problem of the people around PMB. The problem of the people around PMB is that they don't tell him the truth, and anyone who attempts to tell him the truth will be tagged as enemy of progress immediately. They have forgotten that we all campaigned for PMB to be the president. Some of my fellow students of Udusok then knew me as strong supporter of PMB. I campaigned for him in both hostels and classes area because the 2015 general election. For the 2015 general election, I believe in the integrity of PMB and his previous record as head of state and head of PTF. But to be frank with you, I am personally disappointed in PMB administration because we didn't see half of what we expected from him. I contributed my school feeding allowance to his BSO campaign, mobilized people to vote for him just because I believe he can make Nigeria a better place for all of us to live in. You can imagine what someone is saying there, just to show you that they are really angry with the way things have been done. Another person here says, Senator Ndume is speaking from the mind of poor masses. That's the fact on ground, but I know you won't accept the facts for the reason you all also benefited from this corruption going on in the so-called government of the day. The hardship is too much on the poor masses, but you guys seems not in to worry because it's not affecting you and your family members. The day of reckoning is coming where every individual will account for his or her deeds in front of our Creator. We have a president who don't care about the poor masses. We trust him, and that's the reason why we stood with him in 2015 and 2019 to make sure he was elected to serve the poor masses, but he has betrayed us. Almighty is watching. May we be guided. All right, there are a lot of other people who are, actually talking, but I won't like to, because of time, I won't like to go to all of that. But I want you to go to our comment section, let us interact. Do you think that what Ndume actually say is right, or do you think that the statement by Shehu Gaba about Ndume is the right